Information overload, endless to-do lists, constant pressure to perform, to achieve, to be someone. Social media scrolling, comparing yourself to everyone else's highlight reel, feeling like you're drowning in a sea of expectations, both internal and external. Sound familiar? We're living in an age of unprecedented noise, and it's breaking us. Anxiety, depression, burnout, they're not just buzzwords, they're epidemics. We're searching for answers, for a way to navigate this chaos, for something real to hold on to. What if I told you there's a single book written almost 2,000 years ago that holds the key? A book that's not about escaping the noise, but about finding unshakable peace within it. A book that's been a secret weapon for emperors, entrepreneurs, artists, and everyday people facing extraordinary challenges. The word Stoicism has been thrown around a lot lately. It's become a trendy self-help buzzword, often watered down, misunderstood, or even misrepresented. You see Instagram posts with out-of-context quotes, promising you'll become an emotionless robot who never feels pain. You hear people bragging about their stoic mindset, while simultaneously acting like arrogant jerks. That's not Stoicism, that's something else entirely. True Stoicism is far more profound, more nuanced, and more human than that. It's not about suppressing your feelings, it's about understanding them. It's not about being indifferent to the world, it's about engaging with it wisely, virtuously, and with a deep sense of purpose. So, if you're overwhelmed by the sheer volume of Stoic literature out there, if you're looking for the one book that cuts through the noise and gets to the heart of this powerful philosophy, I'm going to tell you what it is. But first, I want you to understand why this book is so unique, so essential. Imagine having access to the private thoughts of one of the most powerful men in history. Not his public pronouncements, not his carefully crafted speeches, but his raw, honest, vulnerable reflections on life, death, and everything in between. Imagine reading the words of a man grappling with his own flaws, struggling to live up to his own ideals, facing immense pressures and temptations, and finding solace and strength in a philosophy that transcends time and circumstance. That book is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and it's unlike anything you've ever read. This isn't a textbook. It's not a how-to guide in the traditional sense. It's a personal journal, a collection of fragmented thoughts, aphorisms, and self-reminders, written by a Roman emperor to himself during military campaigns and amidst the constant pressures of leadership. He wasn't writing for an audience. He was writing to survive, to maintain his sanity, to cultivate his inner strength, to remind himself of the core principles of Stoicism in the face of overwhelming challenges. And that's what makes it so incredibly powerful. It's real, it's raw, it's the unfiltered wisdom of a man striving to live a virtuous life in a chaotic world. And it's directly applicable to your life right now. What sets Meditations apart from other Stoic texts? Several things. First, it's brutal honesty. Marcus doesn't sugarcoat anything. He admits his weaknesses, his frustrations, his doubts. He's not presenting a polished, perfected version of himself. He's showing you the work in progress. Second, it's practicality. While Meditations explores profound philosophical concepts, it's always grounded in the real world. Marcus is constantly asking himself, how can I apply these principles to my daily life? How can I respond to this specific challenge with wisdom and virtue? Third, it's universality. The challenges Marcus faced, dealing with difficult people, managing his emotions, facing his own mortality, are universal human experiences. His words resonate across centuries because they speak to the core of what it means to be human. One of the most recurring images in Meditations is the inner citadel. Marcus envisions his mind as a fortress, a place of refuge from the storms of life. He writes, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This isn't about physical isolation. It's about cultivating an inner space that is impervious to external events. It's about recognizing that your thoughts, your judgments, your reactions are the only things you truly control. He constantly reminds himself and us to focus on what's within our power, our virtue, our character, our response to adversity. Everything else, let it go. It's outside the walls of your citadel. It has no power to harm you unless you allow it to. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus was deeply aware of his own mortality. He practiced memento mori, remembering death, not to be morbid, but to live more fully. He writes, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't about dwelling on death. It's about using the awareness of death to prioritize what truly matters. It's about cutting through the distractions, the petty grievances, the meaningless pursuits, and focusing on what gives your life meaning. Ask yourself, if you knew you only had a limited time left, how would you live differently? What would you focus on? What regrets would you want to avoid? Memento mori is a powerful antidote to procrastination, to fear, to living a life that is not truly your own. It's a reminder to live now with purpose and intention. Perhaps the most challenging and ultimately most liberating concept in meditations is amor fati, the love of fate. This isn't about blind optimism or pretending that everything happens for a reason. It's about accepting whatever happens, good or bad, as part of the natural order of things. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It's about recognizing that we don't control the events of our lives, but we do control our response to them. We can choose to meet adversity with courage, with grace, with a commitment to virtue. We can choose to learn and grow from every experience, even the most painful ones. Amor fati is not passive resignation, it's active acceptance. It's about finding the opportunity for growth in every challenge. It's about embracing the totality of life with all its joys and sorrows and finding meaning in the journey itself. So how do you read a book like Meditations? Not like a novel, not even like a typical philosophy text. This is a book to be savored, to be reflected upon, to be lived. Here's my advice. 1. Read it slowly. Don't try to rush through it. Read a few passages each day. Let them sink in. 2. Read it repeatedly. This isn't a one-and-done book. Return to it again and again. You'll find new insights each time. 3rd, journal. After reading, write down your reflections. How do Marcus's words apply to your own life? What challenges are you facing? How can you apply Stoic principles to those challenges? Practice. The most important thing is to practice what you learn. Stoicism isn't a spectator sport, it's a way of life. 5. Find a good translation. There are many translations of meditations available. I recommend the Gregory Hayes translation or the Hammond translation. Find one that resonates with you. Look, I'm not going to lie. This book isn't always easy to read. Marcus is wrestling with some heavy stuff, but it's precisely because of that honesty, that rawness, that Meditations has the power to transform your life. It's a challenge, it's a call to action. It's an invitation to become the best version of yourself, to cultivate inner strength, to find peace amidst chaos, and to live a life of purpose and meaning. So if you are ready to take control over your life and master your mind, I challenge you. Start now, and in 1 week, tell me how you feel. If you're ready to embark on this journey, pick up a copy of Meditations. Start reading, start journaling, start living the principles, and watch your life transform. Remember, you are not alone in your journey. Great minds like Marcus Aurelius felt and struggled like all of us. Now it is your turn to take control. Thank you for watching. If this resonated, hit that like button, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. The path to an unbreakable life begins now.